welcome to the Late Night Snacking Podcast.
We're your hosts, Devin and Anita, and this is our weekly podcast where we grab a blanket and some snacks and talk about all things relationships, growing pains, and navigating through, honestly, life itself.
We hope our experiences encourage others to grow to become the best versions of themselves, and for their relationships. Grab a snack and let's go! What is up, snackers?
What's going on, y'all boys?
Woo! Welcome back to the pod.
This is the Late Night Snacking Podcast.
The what?
The most honest podcast, the most open podcast, and the most wholesome podcast in the world.
Woo! Welcome back for another Wednesday on the Late Night Snacking Podcast. We are so happy to be here with y'all, considering we were not last week.
Yeah, you know, stuff just be happening, bro. We human.
Especially during this season.
Yeah, we're trying. We got the wedding going on. Yeah, y'all already know what's up.
Y'all know
what this is. So
we're trying. We really are. We do have a lot going on though, so we're doing our best. But we're here.
Trying to practice a healthy living. You know what I'm saying? Just got back from the gym.
We did just get back from the gym.
Tired as hell. But we here.
What type of workouts were we doing? What was the vibe today?
It's a lot of arms.
Yeah.
Shoulders. Just upper body. You know, arms feel like noodles. It's about as good as they can get right now.
Y'all, I tried to do the
Can't lift my arms. It's just
yeah. It is like dead. I tried to do the tricep dips or whatever, and I really thought I could like press my own weight up, so I put the machine on like very lightweight. Mm-hmm. I sank all the way to the bottom. I was like, there's no
history.
Yeah. No chance. So, yeah, that was quite the time, but we are trying to practice a healthy living. Obviously, we have a wedding coming up that we're trying to look good for. So, yeah, we're getting right.
Yep.
So, yeah, what else has been going on? It's kind of been eventful the past couple weekends. We are, like, very Greenville heavy lately. Shout out to Nate and Alicia, who have been housing us for the past couple weekends. Thank y'all. So yeah, we've been new wedding stuff. We did our catering tasting, so we know what the food tastes like, so that's good.
Yeah.
I have a makeup trial. You have your bachelor trip.
Oh, the bachelor
coming up.
Yeah, this week.
Where y'all going?
Going to Colorado.
Ooh,
so shout out to Colorado Springs. The camera will be on deck, so
yes.
All the just wholesome festivities, though. You know.
I thought you were gonna say all the whole activities. I was like, damn. Okay.
No, absolutely not. I'm not gonna incriminate myself on live television.
Oh my gosh. Well, yes. So we'll get some fun footage for y'all there. Well, he will. I'll be here. So yeah, lots of fun stuff going on. It's a very eventful month. I had my bridal shower this month. Just a lot going on. If you hear some background noises, it's HB, and he's
deep breathing, deep sighing.
As if he's inconvenienced in any sort of way.
Right. Really ought to give him away at this point. Come home and there's stuffing all in the pen. Because he want to tear up stuffed animals and go on. Tore the squeaker out and everything. And
that's why we didn't even leave him with it, y'all. He like climbed on top of the crate.
Up on the thing and grabbed
it. Yeah.
So yeah, keep your sign to a minimum.
Actually, I'm very surprised that he's like chilling out right now. Usually we have to put him away, but he's just kind of laying here next to us. So we'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah, he know he's on thin ice. Yeah, for sure.
He's on thin ice with you every day.
He is not. But today? Oh, yeah, nah.
Today in particular. Yeah. You're not having it with him.
Yep.
Rightfully so.
I'm not going to give him a break today.
So that's really it. Nothing else has really been going on. Just getting ready for the wedding. That's really where we're at with things. I think we're like 80 something days out, 82 days now. Yeah, we're rolling in. Cool. So, I'm not seeing a snack on your side.
My snack is sponsored by the Red Solo Cup.
Nice.
Don't worry, it's just ice water in here because that's all I need right now.
I have a banana smoothie. I literally just put a banana with ice and almond milk together. So that is this little contraption. So that's my snack.
I guess I could eat like an apple or something, but I ain't really hungry though. No need in trying to force myself to eat a snack when I'm just not hungry. So.
Oh no. Oh no. I let it sit too long.
Yeet. Drink up.
Cheers. No. The banana sat too long, so now it's a little like, ugh. One more sip. Yeah, no. All right,
Well.
That was good while it lasted. I let the banana sit too long. Now it's disgusting, but hate to see it. All right. Moving on into the late night slacking because we've been slacking and it's been like 2 weeks since we've done one. So
yeah, it's very true.
Wanted to bring y'all some joy and introduce this week's late night slacking. Any words?
You have an unnatural allegiance to losers. That's not like you. Shout out Cat Williams.
That clip from that interview is my favorite thing that's graced the internet nowadays.
You have an unnatural allegiance to losers. That's not like you.
He said it so eloquently.
Like, if that's the most elegant way to say that you rock with a bunch of lame guys, like, that's not very like you, like lame people. Wow.
Unnatural.
That's a very colorful vocabulary that guy has.
Love him.
Yeah,
But
shout out
yes.
Cat Williams. But no. No words.
So this was early in the days. This was right before quarantine. I think.
That's what staying in the house will do to you, though.
Yeah. So. We would just play music on the TV, and that is what would take place.
Just turn up.
Oh, can I ask you this, though?
What?
What is it with wearing shades indoors? What does that bring out of people? Because you are not the first person that I've seen that likes to wear shades inside during parties, in that clip. What is it about the shades when you don't really need the shades? What does it do? Does it activate something in you?
Well, when one puts on shades, that means the swag has officially been turned on. In most cases. But in other cases,
Not the swag.
you ever just be in the club and you're not right. You don't even have to go to the bathroom to look at yourself in the mirror, but you just know that your eyes are bloodshot red, you look tired, you look blasted.
Okay, so it's like a little bit of a shield, but you
gotta disguise that.
But you look like cool.
Sure.
Oh.
Or maybe you're hiding from somebody, a crazy ex or something. You just never know. You might go to a club, so might see the crazy ex in there. Now you gotta throw on the shade, so you gotta blend in with the crowd. You know what I'm saying? So.
But you don't think people are gonna recognize you? That's like putting on a mask at a masquerade ball. You don't think you got this little ass thing on your face? You think people are not gonna recognize who you are?
Listen.
You'd be surprised. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Good to know. Okay. moving on.
I didn't have on shades on this weekend, and you see what happened. Like,
what happened? Where were we?
Ran all them people I graduated with.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and one of them literally dapped me up and then was getting ready to walk away. And then looked at me again and was like, "Oh, shit, Devin, what's up, boy?" I was like...
It was shades.
That's the thing. I didn't have on shades, though.
Oh.
Because I thought I forgot my shades, but I ended up having them the whole time. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy.
A wild weekend. Alrighty, y'all. I think we'll stop dillying and dallying.
Yeah, wasting y'all time. We said we was going to stop doing that.
No, you said you were going to stop doing that.
Oh.
I, frankly...
Well, y'all hear that?
I
so
like
your time is wasted.
It's not, though.
You just said that. You said that you were going to stop wasting your time. Which means I'm going to continue to waste your time.
No. I don't call it wasting time.
Dilly-dallying, excuse me.
This is a podcast. We talk. Like, what? We can talk in the beginning.
Of course. But that's like... come on. But that's like going to a concert. No one goes for the opening acts. Let's be honest. Just saying.
Wow.
Everybody goes. It's like if you go to a Beyonce concert, you could honestly care less who opens up for her. You're not interested in that.
But nobody's opening for us. This is just us like catching up with them.
But what I'm saying is they come for the topic.
Telling a little jokey joke.
That thing that's up there when they go to see the podcast and search, that's what they come for. Let's deliver that to them.
If y'all see the little picture on Instagram that we put up every week that says like, "Oh, new video out." Go to it right now and let us know. Do you like the talking in the beginning, or are we wasting your time? Be honest. Drop some sort of comment. I want to know.
Well, I can answer that for you now. They're not going to respond.
How would you know? Because they didn't say anything yet.
They never say anything about anything. They don't say anything about anything.
Well, if that's the case,
we just need to, like...
I'm going to keep talking then.
Okay.
Let's hop into le topic. So, tonight... Oh, my God. What?
Definitely keep the tables at me, too.
Oh, Lord. Okay. So, tonight we are chatting about like a couple of things that kind of go hand in hand with each other. We're just going to chat. So a video came up and this person was talking and basically being like, if I ask somebody why they love me, if they ever say, "Oh, it's because you do XYZ or you make me feel XYZ," it's a red flag. I'm out. I'm leaving immediately.
Here we go with the red flag.
I'm leaving immediately, blah, blah, blah. Now, I thought the delivery of the message was dramatic, as everything is online. But the message is there, technically, in terms of, like, truly, why do you love your partner, and do you know why you love your partner? Like, is it because of things that they're doing that benefit you, or are there things about them and their personality and like quirks about them that you actually love? So I thought that was an interesting topic to bring up, and just like pose that question. Like, why do we think people respond in that way? Do people really know why they love their partner? Like, are things surface level? I don't know.
Yeah.
So I thought we'd chat about it. So you want to go first on your thoughts? Do you want me to go first on my thoughts?
I'll go on this one.
Okay.
So let's lay a foundation first. So I don't think we really know, and we as in like people, I don't think we really understand or know what love means.
Okay.
I don't think any of us really know what love actually means.
Sure.
Now, of course, we know what it looks like. We know how it may be portrayed, but I don't think we really know what it is. You know what I mean? So I think that's the first thing, is grasping, I guess, well, what does love mean, or what does it mean to you,
To you. Yeah,
right?
because I think
So
it's subjective.
yeah, it
Yeah.
definitely is. Just because some people would define their love by the things that they do for other people, like gift giving or whatever. And it's like, oh, I did this because I love you. And it's
Right.
just like you're showing me, I guess, like a layer of what love could look like or what it is, but that's not really love, though. You know what I mean? So I think it's well, I'll put it this way in my words. I think love is it's a connection between someone. We'll speaking as far as like romantically
Okay.
in that term. So I think it's how you interact in exchange with someone.
Okay.
You know, I don't think
Would
what.
would you say like feelings are
Yeah,
involved in that? Okay.
for sure, 100% feelings are involved. Because I mean, how could they not? Dealing with love, I think love can be a feeling as well. Like, I'm pretty sure you can feel loved,
Yeah.
but I don't know though. I think that's a good start is to try to figure out or try to define what love actually is like on a romantic plane. I
Yeah.
think it's like I said. I think it's just how you connect and how you interact with someone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think. And then again, I'll say this: even though we probably don't know what love is, I don't think it's some super hard, like complicated thing either. But I think it's a simple enough concept for us to understand, and I think that's why we kind of let that word fly around a lot. Of course, you have different styles of love between like friendships and relationships and like love for pets and stuff like that. Like it's just totally different.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. For me, I think it's just like a connection and how
Okay.
you interact with someone. So as far as someone saying you know, um, like basically, what do you mean when you say you love me or whatever, or like why? I mean, it could really be a number of things,
Yeah.
really, but just saying like, oh, because you do my laundry, like that's not a good enough reason to love somebody.
Sure.
Now that may be one of the things you love about them, but that doesn't explain why you love them.
Do you think so kind of like tying in your point a little bit, do you think people maybe answer that way because they don't how do I word this? Like because they don't really know like on a deeper level
Like how to define love. Yeah,
what
exactly.
yeah, so maybe like to them they love their partner because of the things their partner does for them or the way their partner makes them feel, maybe because that's as far as like the word love
Yeah.
goes in their mind, maybe like they don't know how to define it. I think where the person was coming from in the video was basically saying like it would be alarming if if we were in a group
Yeah.
right now, like say it was like us and our friends in a group or whatever, and somebody asked you like, oh, why do you love Anita, like for real? And you answer would be like, oh, well, she makes me breakfast in the morning, like I really love that, or like I like when she does XYZ because it just like makes my life a little bit easier. And like to me that would be like,
Right.
dang, like what do you actually like about me? Like
Exactly.
about my personality and like what I bring to your life type thing. And I feel like, and maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like a lot of people don't think that way. Like,
Yeah.
because the it's like they're thinking about the love they receive from their partner versus the
Exactly.
love that they give back to their partner or the way they think about their partner. It's like they're not thinking that way.
Right.
So I can understand why the person in the video was like, I don't know, that is kind of a red flag for me because, like, what about me do you actually love? Like, not the stuff that I'm doing or the
Right.
way that I make you feel. And those things can go into why you love somebody. but that has nothing to do with the person.
Exactly.
So,
And then like, even if I were to say like, oh, like I just like her personality, like still that's something about you.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's still not like, why do I love you?
Yeah.
Like the essence of you, like your
Yeah.
presence, like who you are. Like
Yeah.
these are everything that someone would probably name, or things that come to mind are all like characteristics of a person, but never like, I guess, who they are. And
Yeah.
so I think the second layer to that would be like, who are they to you? You know what I mean? Like I guess, what role do they play in your life that's so important that you feel like you need to keep this person around? Like,
Yeah.
I think that's another layer to really consider too.
Yeah.
So, you know, some people might be like, oh, well, like we were saying earlier, they basically task helpers, like
Yeah.
people who just handle a lot of tasks for you. Like,
Yeah.
but once again, even that's not enough reason to like, you know, once again, this is still like, you love them because they do this certain thing. So what happens when they don't do it?
Right.
So, and then segueing into that, I think the third layer would be like conditional and unconditional
Yeah. Oh,
love. Like, because
yeah. I want
all
to
the
touch on
things
that.
that most people would like talk about is all like conditional things.
Yeah.
You love this person because under the condition that they cook you breakfast and do this and do this, that's why you love them.
Right.
But what happens when that's out of the picture? You
Right.
know?
Like, but that's where the whole, like, what about them as a person do you actually love? And that part needs to be stronger than the things that they're doing or the way that they make you feel, because sometimes, like, physically things may happen to where that person cannot deliver in that category. Is your love for them as a person strong enough
Right.
to stay and like keep them? So, I mean, that's honestly, now that you kind of put it that way, that's very interesting, because if you were to take that first surface layer out,
Right.
because that's a large part. Let's be real. Like, half the battle is the stuff that your partner does to
Right.
show that they love you. Like, for real, especially with like social media and like all this stuff
Yeah.
going on nowadays, like how you show up for your partner, how you support your partner, how do you love your partner, how do you
Right.
shower your partner, like all of that is half the battle. I will say that. But it's just like there are going to be things that come up, factors that come up to where your partner cannot show up in that category for whatever reason. Money's tight. Maybe
Yeah.
physically something's wrong with them. Maybe car's broken down and they can't take you to work every day like they usually do.
Right.
Like, all sorts of things can happen. Tired, maybe had a long day, can't perform certain tasks around the house, can't perform,
Yeah.
physically with each other, whatever. Like, there's all sorts of things that can come up to where your partner can't deliver in certain categories. So, okay, taking those things away, like, do you actually still love your partner at the end of the day for the person they are, to
Yeah.
where when those things come out of the picture, it's almost like I don't care as much because I love you, like, as a person. So that is true. That, like, loving your partner and the essence of your partner and the being of your partner has to be stronger than the conditional
Right.
part. Like, that unconditional part is there. And I don't think you can just love your partner unconditionally all the time.
Right.
Like, people have boundaries and expectations, and there are conditions that come up that set the tone for like what you tolerate in your relationship and stuff like that. And that's okay, and it looks different for everybody, but there has to be like a balance of both. But
Yeah.
I just feel like one does have to be a little bit stronger
Yeah. One
than the
outweighs
other.
the other.
Yeah,
For sure.
it
Because
does.
Chris Rock, we talked about that. Chris Rock made a good point in one of his stand ups. I think it was Tambourine, I think. And he talked about only women, babies, and pets are loved like unconditionally. And like ironically, that is kind of true. Like,
What was his point, or what was he saying?
well, basically, he was saying that only uh, women, children, and animals are loved unconditionally, and that men are loved under condition, under the condition that they provide something. This is usually true. Like, for example, like with Hendrix, like, why do you love that dog so much? Do you really know why? Like, he doesn't talk, he doesn't clean, he did like. He is, if anything, he is a liability. Why do you love this liability so much? Same thing for babies. They can't talk. They can't do anything. They're fresh out the womb. Like, it's all like, in my opinion, it's all a feeling. It's all emotion. That is it. That's why I think like love really boils down to like it's the connection, it's the essence, it's like the interaction that you have with someone. You know, that's what I think love is. You know what I mean? And I think that's what that strong part
Yeah.
is the unconditional part, which I think a lot of us would be better off if we loved each other unconditionally. You know, you see it in social media now, like other things that like men are only loved under like I said, under the condition that they provide something. So, typically you see it in these podcasts all the time how they talk about how women usually date up and men will literally like date a girl who has no job, has really nothing going for herself, but he just like that's one of those things where like it's this like a girl could literally have nothing going for herself or whatever, but he just knows for a fact that he just it's something about this girl that he loves that he feels like he needs to have her around all the time. Or like for women, the guy who provides everything. He pays, he protects, he does all this like, or he provides some other like little service or whatever. Usually gets a little bit more praise because he provided something. So most of the time, like a woman, and it's not always, not all cases, but like you would never see a woman like date or get married to like a man who doesn't have a job or anything going for himself, because it's just like, bro, what, why,
It's not
like,
true.
what is it about you that,
I combat
well,
this part of
hence
your.
why I said it's not all women, but that is very true. You see that all the time. Where it's just like, oh, especially social media, you see it like, oh, like, or what was it? It could have been like another podcast or an interview or something. Like they asked the dude like, what does he do or whatever, and he was just like, oh, like I work, or like he has a job, and like people was like started laughing, and it's just like, bro, what? This man literally just has a job. Like I think all people have a job, like a normal person. You know what I mean? Like I guess were they expecting him to say, "Oh, yeah, I'm a part-time superhero," or some dumb shit? Like what was he supposed to say? Like I mean, he has a job.
I
I don't think anything's wrong with that.
I see what you're saying, but I don't think it's as common as you think it is.
I put it to you this way: the the reason for my point is because even though there are some women who will date a guy who has nothing going for himself, there is another alternative reason why you're with him. It just outweighs the fact that he has nothing going for himself. So it's another factor in there on why you're with him.
Yeah, it's probably self-esteem. Like you probably don't think that you can do any better, or you don't think that you deserve better than this POS of a guy.
It's
And
true.
a lot of women do find themselves in that type of situation. So
Or they get with somebody and they're comfortable.
goes both ways.
Comfortability.
Yeah. So I agree what you're saying. Well, not all the way, but I understand what you're saying. But I think it goes the other way too, a little bit in terms of like, I think it's we talked about this morning a little bit in terms of like roles, right? And how a traditional role for a man is go out and work, and a traditional role for a woman is stay home, clean, cook, take care of the kids. Like that is like very, very
Yeah, it's
traditional
written in
gender
stone.
roles. Yeah. This day and age, we are moving further and further away
Yeah.
from those stereotypes. I personally don't have any issue with that. I'm all for like women empowerment and women getting into better positions and leadership roles and
Yeah.
things like that. Like that's great. I love to see women winning and stuff like that. I just think it gets complicated when I don't want this to be a controversial thing, but I think it does get complicated when we fight so hard to like be in a powerful position, and I'm talking about from a relationship standpoint now. Like we fight so hard to have the upper hand and be in a powerful position to where we can't sit back and be on the softer side and
Yeah.
let a man like be that traditional like provider type person. And I think you see that a lot nowadays, to where kind of what your point is saying, where it's like, well, it is conditional because you don't want to keep him around unless he makes X amount of money, unless he has this sort of corporate job or whatever. And I agree in that like we do see that.
Yeah.
Like in terms of, well, if he doesn't make as much as me, then I don't need him, or I don't need a man, I'm independent, blah, 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 all
Yeah.
this stuff. And
Which is the
that's
biggest lie that was told to the female community ever.
I told Devin, I was like,
That's the biggest lie.
that would
That was
never
the
be
biggest
me.
joke.
Like,
And the fact, and then like it kills me because everybody, like all these women are out here repeating that. Like, bro, are you for real? There's no way you believe that.
I guess
Deep down, I don't see how anyone can really believe that.
I guess
I'm
the
sorry.
only reason why I just like I understand the mindset of like not walking around feeling like you need a man to like propel your life. Like you can be successful without a man. That part I understand because you are your own person. But it goes the same thing for a man. Like you don't need a strong woman by your side to like be successful. These things are just helpful.
Yeah.
Like you can be a successful, powerful woman and still have a strong, good man by your side, and that'll just help like propel you. And same thing, you can be a strong, successful man, and having a good, strong woman by your side just helps. But it doesn't mean that you can't do it without each other. It's just the only thing that I don't like about that mindset is just to where you're never allowing yourself to be vulnerable to like a love that could really mean something and be meaningful for you, but you won't let that wall down.
Yeah, that
like,
pride.
Yeah, it is.
Because you feel like you got something to prove. Like,
yes, like it is a pride thing, and I told Devin, I was like, that is not me, and that is okay. Well, I don't know, I don't like that we're like heading in that direction, because I was telling you in the car, I was like, I really wish we did come to some sort of consensus between men and women that like we do need each other in a sense.
Yeah.
Like things are better when we hold hands and sing Kumbaya together. Seriously, like we make a good team. Like when you really find somebody that suits you well and makes a good team with you, like do not let that person go.
That was literally God's plan of life. Was for men and women to come together. Like,
to come together.
Why would you ever want to come back that?
So I don't know. I don't like this like division thing that we have going on. And like I said, there are conditions, and there are conditions from men that they would like from women as well. It's not just like the man needs to be provider and he's not going to be loved if not. Like there are, on the flip side, like what does the woman also bring to the table, and what can she provide as well? Like it does go both ways, and there are conditions, and like every relationship is different for what conditions you have for each other and stuff like that. But it's like we were saying before, like that unconditional part has to be strong. Like taking it back to the very beginning point, like you really do have to know what you love about your partner for them, like as a person, because all these things that we just listed, like, is your partner successful? How much money do they make? Do they bring any money
Yeah.
home? Like, do they provide? Do they, all of these are just conditions. Like, what if those things go away? What if your partner loses their job? What if your partner, I really, like, I don't want to say this, but just like for women, like, what if your partner is infertile? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there are things that come up that you look at your partner a certain way that maybe they cannot provide this thing that you are
Yeah.
looking for. Do you love them enough as a person to stay? Or is this like a deal breaking condition for you to where
Yeah.
you cannot
And
stay?
that's
Like,
tough too.
it is. It's a hard position to be in, but that's why I'm saying this unconditional part is really important, because that, like, when everything is said and done, that's the part that determines, like, if you actually
Yeah,
stay with that
that's the
person or
real
not.
part of the love. Like,
Yeah,
that's the meat of it.
it is.
And I think, like, especially for our grandparents and stuff, like, I think that's why those relationships lasted so long, because they were unconditional. And then there was no like now, like back then, I don't think there wasn't any conversation. Like, our grandmas didn't have to ask our grandpas to go to work. Like, you never had to ask you didn't have to ask a man to do that back then. It was just like that's what just seemed like that's what all men did. Like,
Society's a lot
yeah, that's
different.
just
Yeah.
what you do. You know what I mean? I feel like the women understood their assignment, like they understood their role. Like, it's a very significant role, believe it or not. And I do want to talk about that too. I don't know, and I could be wrong, and maybe I should speak on it, but I do feel like women downplay the role that they have or the role that they should be playing in a man's life. Like, that is a very righteous role. It's an important role. You know what I mean? You play a part of his being in a way. Like, you honestly have the power to, you know, give him heaven on earth, or it could make you can give him hell on earth too. Like,
Yeah.
you have that power, bro. But it's just like don't downplay it by like, oh well, I'm more than just a chef. I'm more than just somebody who can clean. Like, the fact that that is your role does not mean that that's all you are anyway. It's just that's just some of the most important roles. You know what I mean? Like, and like I said, I don't think our grandpas ever had to ask our grandmas to cook. Like, they just went and did that because that's what women do. Like, that's just what they do. And I think back then it was just a lot simpler.
I think it was simpler, and I think
Now, that's not to say that everybody's marriage back then, our grandparents' marriage was, didn't have flaws and everybody had skeletons in the closet. There
no.
definitely probably was a lot of
I
wild stuff
think
going on.
I think and I like it and I don't like it to an extent. We're in a day and age where everybody is asking why. Like, we are in a very, especially like Gen Z, like, we are a very push the envelope, push the boundary. Like, how can we get answers out of why things have always been done the way they've been done? Historical movements like Black Lives Matter, like things like that. Like, we are pushing social boundaries of things that have been this way for hundreds of years, and we are now in a generation of, honestly, people who just do not tolerate that shit.
Yeah.
Like, so, and it's good in some cases, and then you have things like this to where it's like, okay, well, why does the man have to go work and why does the woman have to stay home? Like, why can't it be reversed? And now you have a lot of like stay-at-home dads and like
Yeah.
moms who go out and work part-time, and like it's like, it's good that we're asking why and we're pushing boundaries, but that is why that is not like that anymore.
Yeah.
Is because we are in a day and age to where people are like, okay, well, just because it was that way 100 years ago,
Exactly.
it's 100 years forward
The
now.
society just
We
pretty much
don't-
changed.
It has. It really has changed over time. Like, and like I said, I like it in some cases and I don't like it in some cases, but I really do like the innovation and stuff that's coming out of it, because yes, why do we have to do things exactly how they were done before if we are different thinkers and
Yeah.
society and the world moves differently now. So like
Yeah.
I get it. I really do get it. It does make sense why we are asking these kinds of questions, why we're having these types of conversations, like these types of conversations and asking like why does the woman stay home and why does the man go to work? Like just like you said, like nobody ever had to ask each other that back in the day. Like
Right.
they would just do it.
That's
Now
just,
we're
yeah,
at
that
a
was the time
day and
in.
age that we're talking about it on a podcast and being like, okay, so why does the man go out and work and like does he make enough? Well, the woman can go and make just as much now with the freedom that women have to go get powerful roles and be corporate CEOs and stuff like that. Like we are in a day and age to where it's like a we can do it too type thing, which is great. I'm just saying that is why things look different and conversations sound different because everybody, every chance they get, is pushing the envelope to
Yeah.
be like, what can we get out of this? How can we get more? How can this be different? So it is different. Like, so
Yeah.
many things are different. But
And I,
yeah, every relationship's different. Some people nowadays still follow the traditional
yeah.
roles, and some people don't. Like I said, like now there's like stay at home dads, and the moms go out and work part time. Like everybody's different. I think it's kind of cool, but it just, I guess you just have to find like what works for your
Right.
dynamic.
And I honestly think like I feel like our generation has tapped into a
Oh,
whole different, like, a whole different stage of like understanding
yeah.
and communication. Like I feel like if our parents and grandparents was like had these type conversations,
I know.
like we be have on the podcast, like oh man, like would have been so much better off. I think, in my opinion, and it's not to
Yeah,
say that like our parents don't have good relationships and stuff like that,
I
but
know.
like I feel like it would definitely help. Put a filler into a lot of those wedges where
Yeah.
some things were not so comfortable conversations.
Yeah.
It's little stuff like that. So I don't
Yeah.
know. Like I said, I think that's our blessing though, is that we're able to tap into that side and have those conversations to help us understand each other more.
Yeah, honestly, that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. Because, like, the way Devin thinks and sees the world is different than the way I think and the way I see the world. But what I like about us is that we don't fault the other person on how they see the world. It's
Right.
just we ask each other questions on, like, well, why do you think that way? Or why do you think like that? So, like, that whole conversation of men being the provider and being loved conditionally or whatever. We had that conversation this weekend in the car. And instead of me being like, well, that's not true. No, why would you think about it that way? I literally was like, well, why do you think that? Like, or where did you hear that? Or do you think that's true? Or like, what are some examples? Like, I want to tap into why you think that way and do you feel that way in our relationship? Like, posing those types of questions of like, why do you think the way that you think instead of attacking the way
Yeah.
that person thinks. And that's why I told him, and I told him on here as well, like, I see what you're saying. I don't agree to 100%, but there are parts of your point
Yeah.
that I do agree with, and there are parts that I don't, just from my own thinking and how I see the world. But that doesn't mean that you're wrong.
Right.
So, yeah, I think conversations like this are so important, especially our beginning point of like, why do you love your partner? Have that conversation with your partner and see what your partner says. It doesn't have to be a test, but see where your partner's head is at. Like, are they on a surface level of loving you, or are they naming every like wrinkle on your face that they love about you? There are levels to this shit, really. Bless you.
Thank you.
And bless you.
Thank you.
And analyze like there are things that are conditional about your partner, meaning if your partner does XYZ or doesn't do XYZ, you're going to start looking at them a little bit differently, or you even might leave. Like, there are deal breaker things. And then there's things about your partner that you have unconditional love for. So really analyzing that and being like, well, if the conditional things were taken away, do I love them unconditionally enough to like stay?
Yeah.
So I think these are great conversations to have, truly.
Yeah.
So
So look, like, can we do like a little overview or review? So we said one
sure.
was understanding love, right? Being able to, I guess,
Like define it
yeah,
in
like
your own
yeah,
way.
yeah, exactly.
Like
Define
what
it
it
in your own way.
means to you. Yeah. And then we said 2, as far as like, what do you actually love
Yeah.
about your partner? And realizing like if the first thing that comes to mind is, oh, well, I love when they do XYZ, kind of like reframing that
Yeah.
and looking at why you love them as a person, not things that they are doing or ways that they make you feel. It's not about you.
Right.
It is about them. So
Exactly.
reframing that,
So external.
external, and then the conditional versus unconditional. What are the conditional things? Because I feel like that is important. There are boundaries that you should
Yeah.
have in your relationship of things that you like, can tolerate, and there are boundaries that your partner knows not to push past, etc. I think that's healthy
Right.
to have boundaries like that. But what are the unconditional, what's that unconditional love look like? Meaning when you take those conditional things away, what does that look like for you? Is it strong enough to stay basically like no matter what
Right.
type thing? So that's our overview.
There
Thanks
you
for
go.
coming to class.
And there you have it.
Anything else you want to
Served
add?
on a silver platter.
Not on a silver platter.
No, I would like to add that I think just as a society that we need to take the time out to truly understand each other.
Yeah.
Have dialogue if you haven't with, everybody of different races, different genders, whatever. Like, just we all as a people, just human beings, like, we just need to have more dialogue between each other and more understanding
Yeah.
instead of, just ruling each other out, tuning each other
Canceling
out.
each
Yeah,
other.
canceling each other. Like, we all come from different walks of life.
Yeah.
Some more similar than others. It happens, but at the end of the day, it's still different. None of us were all raised in the same house the same way. Like, nah. So just take time out to understand people. It's okay to agree to disagree. Don't have to get into like, it doesn't have to be argumentative or be so combative or whatever. Just now she said that, she's seen my point about the conditional, unconditional thing, but didn't quite agree with everything we're saying. Like, I have to respect that. She doesn't see the world the same way I do. I don't see the world the same she does. Like, so yeah, just have dialogue. Just
Yeah.
try to understand each other more.
Yeah.
I think I think that can project us into the right direction. Because right now we are all living in an eternal hellhole. Because society is just like, life is just crazy right now.
One more thing on that point, because I think we talked about it on that episode, the one where we talked about our little tiff that we got into about the exterminator. I love that
Yeah.
episode because that is just like point blank, like that's so good to look at how to solve into the nitty gritty of like a problem. But like we said that like seeing your partner's point of view is so valuable because if everybody saw the world the same way you did, like if everybody thought the same, like what would life look like?
Right.
Truly, like there would be no options for anything if
You
everybody
straight
just
copy and paste everything.
yes, like everybody would just be the same and think the same and like the same things. Like I think we said in that episode to like celebrate each other's differences and like really appreciate that your partner does give you different points
Right.
of views on the same thing. Like you and I could look at the same piece of art and have two different stories come from it, and that is a beautiful thing. Like you almost want it that way. It makes it more exciting, and we can have dialogue on it. And like, not everything has to be we think the same and we're twins and blah blah blah. No, don't get me wrong. We do be completing each other's thoughts and sentences
all the time,
a lot of the time.
All the time.
But it just in terms of like providing a different perspective for each other in a non-disrespectful way, like that. Like I encourage that for people's relationships so much. Like parent to child relationship, friend to friend relationship, partner to partner relationship, like have dialogue and agree to disagree on things and hear each other out, because that is the only way that you could ever make some sort of like progress in this world. Like you have to have opposing things. Like everybody just can't be the same all the time. And don't bash people for not thinking the same as you. Like it's okay. True.
And I think like even with different perspectives, like I think the cool thing about it to me is having a different perspective or seeing something different or thinking differently from somebody. It gives the other person an awakening that they, I guess, they didn't think they had. Like they will probably, look at a situation the same way that you see it and like be like, wow, like that didn't even cross my thought process at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really cool. So I think it gives people like a little awakening of a different perspective, which is cool.
You do. I agree. Cool. Well, I like this topic. It took a lot of different turns, but I really feel like you could take something away out of one of the tangents. Like we
at least one. Come on.
At least one. Just try one. But yeah, I feel like we covered some good stuff, so love that. All right, is that all on Les Topiques?
Yep, that's it.
Cool. Let's hop into the hookup.
Holla if you hear me. I got the hookup. Holla if you hear me. I got the hookup. Holla if you hear me. I got the hookup. Holla if you hear me. I got the hookup.
What's going on, y'all? And I will be hooking y'all up this evening. I want to give a huge shout out to my dog. It's my roommate in college. That was like my right hand man, Mr. Lorenzo Buxton.
Hey.
So if you're out in Columbia, get with him. And he has he travels a bit too, but he does like memorabilia stuff. So he collects he goes and gets like jerseys. What's the little big head bobblehead thing? They're not bobbleheads. I think was it Funky Pop or something like that.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, jerseys, basketballs, whatever. He'll get like all this different stuff, and he'll go and meet up with players and do signings and stuff. And he'll get players to sign jerseys and all that stuff, and then like of course he sells them.
That's really cool.
Yeah, you can follow him on Instagram at Soda City Memorabilia. That's Soda, SODA, City, CITY, Memorabilia, MEMORABILIA.
Yay.
I think he calls it Smooth Exchange Memorabilia, and which makes sense because Zoe is a smooth ass dude. Like that's why we get along so well, though. That's my dog. If you go on his Instagram, he's gotten the quarterback for USC. Got a signed jersey from him.
Cool.
A lot of Panthers players, Robbie Anderson and some other guys. Tyler Hero. Just check his Instagram page out, Soda City Memorabilia. Literally whatever you're looking for, whatever player jersey you're looking for signed or whatever, he can make it happen. He can do. I've been keeping up with him and watching him. He's been working really hard at this. I think he's working on trying to get a storefront, like a store right now, like a little shop. So that's dope. So y'all give him a follow, man. Soda City Memorabilia. Shout out to my boy Matt Walk, a.k.a. Lorenzo Buxton, a.k.a. Zoe.
Yay, Zoe.
Yeah, y'all check him out, man. Like I said, I think, he's in Columbia. But like I said, he floats around. He'll go to Charlotte, wherever he needs to be to get that business and make that happen. So get with my boy, man.
Check him out. Let us close it down. All right, y'all. We are closing it down. I always mess this part up. All good things
must come to an
end. It's been real. Thank y'all for joining us. If you are watching on YouTube, yay for our camera not dying. We've been
Nah,
really
for
good.
real.
We've been really good with that this season. I'm very proud of us. What was it? Literally every other episode last season, it would be like, doo-doo, and the little camera will die. But yes, if you are watching us on YouTube, make sure you are subscribed to the channel and that you have the little notifications on. Make sure that you give the video a thumbs up and you drop a comment, all that good stuff. And share the video. Like,
Yeah, nah, for real.
we are out here.
We trying, man.
Share it, like it, all that good stuff. If you are listening to us via audio, we see y'all. You know, we have the stats, so we know that there are a good, strong handful of y'all listening via audio.
Yep.
So keep that up. Make sure you share the episodes as well. If you are on Apple, make sure you are subscribed. Top right, the little plus button, and then on Spotify, hit the follow. So again, thank y'all for joining us. I hope y'all enjoyed this topic. I'm not going to lie. I was telling Devin, I was like, I'm a little nervous about this topic. I don't know how much we can actually get out of it. And then, like usual, we get on here,
turned up.
We start rambling, and we get good shit out of it. So we love to see it.
And I'm sorry if I seem a little distracted right now. I just got my my little reservation thing from Airbnb telling me all my check-in stuff for the batch trip, and I'm getting all the flight information. So I'm just trying to make sure all my
ducks are in a row.
Yep, there you go. T's are crossed. I's are dotted.
Send Devin some good vibes. Send Devin some money if you got it.
Yes, $ organic dev if you would like to contribute to the
to the batch
the batch funds.
Alrighty, y'all. Thank y'all for joining us. We will see y'all next week. Maybe we'll get a little Colorado recap.
Yeah, I might.
So we'll see.
Slap y'all with a little something, you know.
But sounds good. Love y'all and see y'all next Wednesday.